And talk about the man who was looking down on the #1 hockey god who was smiling on us tonight.
Well, we're smiling on us, but I'll tell you, these guys have come through a lot of adversity this year, and it was like a non-stop train ride. We weren't going to get off until it went all the way, and no matter what happens, who was down, who was out, what we had to go through as a team challenge-wise, they met it every single time, and tonight's game was a heck of a hockey game.
It really was. Going to the third period, I saw you racing around, going towards the locker room. What kind of things were the guys saying and trying to keep themselves positive, or what was the deal into going to the...
No matter what the score was, it was tied 4-4, so it was a 0-0 game. So our situation was, that's exactly where we wanted to have it. Now let's play the last 20 minutes and play it solid. And we got those... When we got those 2 goals, then we had a good chance to go all the way. We gave 1 back. But I'll tell you one thing, Chicago is a great opposition.
I can hardly get my arm around this guy.
Yeah, great opposition.
What an organization, huh?
Thank you very much. It's a great organization. All the Pittsburgh people, fans, I mean, players, you name it. It's great. I can't wait to go home.
Assistant coach Barry Smith. Larry Murphy, before we go, we're going to go outside to Paul Martino in a minute, but right now we got to get Larry Murphy, because what he fought through in this game here tonight, the way they try to abuse you a little bit out there, Murphy, you wouldn't have it, and you ended up scoring the big goal.
Well, I just wanted to focus on the win, and that's been this team's motto all along, last year and this year. I mean, that's the bottom line, is getting your name on the Stanley Cup, and all that other crap, it doesn't matter to me. It's just, we're on it again. Pittsburgh wins the cup again. Hey,
and that's all
that matters.
You sailed that one into the net. Talk about your goal.
Well, it came out to me. I just threw it up. It actually hit something. One of their guys came out, and it kind of locked it over the goaltender's shoulder or his glove. One or the other. I think he lost sight of it, but we'll take it. I mean, that's the story of this team, finding ways to win. I mean, it wasn't pretty. Some games 1-0. We had to play defense. Tonight it's a shootout. We can do it. We did it all. I guess that's why we won 11 in a row.
You have a way of wearing goaltenders down, and Dominic Hasek looked like he was going to stand on his ear, and you finally broke through again.
Well, he played fantastic. He really did. I don't really think we broke him down. I mean, how many breakaways did he stop? Got the goal I scored. He had no chance because it hit somebody, and then he loses sight of it. On Ronnie's goal, it's an outman situation, and I think that's we played the Hawks well, because we realized they were going to give us chances. They just pressed so much. If we can just hold our own, they're going to hand us opportunities, and Ronnie Francis' goal was probably the greatest example. Hey, Cog!
And no team takes advantage of opportunities like the Pittsburgh Penguins, let's face it. And they've won another Stanley Cup, and let's go outside to Paul Martino, and then we'll come back and have Mike Lang join us.
How sweet it is. Many of these fans were in Minnesota last year when we won that first cup. They're back here in Chicago tonight.
George Ellis.
I remember you in Minnesota.
I was in Minnesota last year.
The second one better than the first one.
I think so. The second one was great. Nobody believed me when I said Dynasty last year, but we're going. That's 2 cups. Fabulous. Way to go, Pens. You got to love them. You got to love them. Oh. John Marcus, swell help. Paul, get in the fast lane, Grandma, because the video game's about to roll. Let's go, Pens!
All right. Easy.
We swept them.
Is the second one better than the first one?
We swept them. I told you before the game we would sweep them. We swept them. We're the best ever.
We didn't get any.
What do you think?
I think it's great. We love you.
I think it's fair to say that they are overwhelmed and overjoyed. Let's see what's going on in the Pittsburgh Sports Garden now with Ralph Iannotti.
Well, Paul, if you couldn't be in Chicago at Chicago Stadium, this was the place to be. It's the Sports Garden on the south side. 1,700 people here tonight. They went crazy. The noise level went through the roof here. It's an unbelievable sight. It was a great feeling to be part of it. As a matter of fact, the prospect of the Stanley Cup coming back to Pittsburgh as early as tonight, everybody here was in a party mood even before the game.
I picked the Penguins to win the Stanley Cup this year, and I think they'll even have a better team next year.
2 months ago, I didn't even think they would make the playoffs.
They won it last year. Why not win it this year?
It's 3-2 midway through the first period, I guess. How long are you going to stand out here?
I'd rather watch the game than stand out here. Might have to go back to the apartment and watch it.
Penguins #1, baby. Let's go, Pens.
Tonight, if one picture could tell the story here tonight, maybe this was it. This was what it looked like here at the Sports Garden just before 11 o'clock tonight as the Pens scored their go-ahead goal. What a great feeling. 11 straight games, and tonight's the night the Stanley Cup comes back to Pittsburgh for the second year. An unbelievable sight, and very few people here have left the building. In fact, somebody just came in the building a few minutes ago, and I don't have to identify him for you.
How you doing tonight, Ralph?
How are you?
Got a little gift for you.
How are you?
Fantastic. Number 2, that's all it counts.
Did you think it was going to happen tonight?
Definitely, it's going to happen tonight. I'll show you right here.
Look at this. There it is, the Stanley Cup on Elvis's back. How about that? They love him here. And of course, they love the Penguins, as you can see. They are going crazy. This celebration will go on long into the night here, and it's a feeling just too great to be part of. I mean, you got to be here to believe it. Let's go back to Mike Lang in Chicago with more on tonight's victory. Mike?
All right, we're back in the Penguins locker room. They've won the second Stanley Cup in the history of this franchise. Ronnie Francis with us right now. And Ronnie, I remember last year when you came to this club, what a thrill it was for you to join the club late and win your first. This year probably was even a tougher test. I mean, the way it went for us with everything up and down and going through it and having to accumulate in this type of situation and through the playoffs in a hard year, it's got to be just overwhelming to everybody.
Well, there's no question this one's a lot sweeter. Last year we came in kind of the end of the season and everything was kind of a blur. And this year, with all the adversity we had to go through the hockey club early and the loss of our coach and contracts and to sell the club, the guys just kept battling. When people counted us out, we never gave up. We believed in ourselves and each other, and here we are standing on the champions podium again.
Ronnie, I want to talk about your game-winning goal, but before we do, I know you played on a bad knee for a long time in the latter part of the season. We can talk about that now that it's done, and it's, I have a great deal of admiration for you. I know it was a tough time for you.
Well, it was tough. I tore some cartilage, the end of February there, and we're going to have to get an arthroscope on it probably in the next couple of days. But, we made the decision that if we went ahead and had the arthroscope, we'd probably be out 3 weeks, and we didn't think we could afford that this time of the season, so we tried to play on it. And if the piece of cartilage was in the right place, it felt good, and if it wasn't, it didn't feel good, and I just tried to do what I could to help the hockey club win, and I was fortunate enough that things came through the way they did.
Ronnie, I want you to talk about the game-winning goal, and tell me what you were thinking, because Dominic had been so impressive, really, against all the big guns we threw at him, stopping breakaway after breakaway, play after play. Did you give him a different look in your mind when you look at him, and tell us about the goal?
Well, the biggest thing for me was I had a couple of chances in the second period on 2-on-1s, and I went in and I faked the shot and made the pass, and I was disappointed in myself because they were playing me to make the pass. And when I picked up the puck in the third period, I made my mind up at the rail line. I was going to look off Sean on the wing and take the shot myself, and that's what I did. They gave me the time, I looked them off, and I was able to beat them short side, and it turned out to be a big goal for us.
Ronnie, 11 straight to close it out. You tied the Hawks for that record. Just how great is this hockey club, really, in your mind?
I think it certainly ranks right up there with one of the best. I think Kevin Stevens said it best earlier this year that everybody said that we won the one last year and we were lucky. We didn't have to beat any good clubs on the way to the Cup. There was a lot of upsets, but we beat the Capitals, we beat the Rangers, we beat the Bruins, we beat the Blackhawks. Those are 4 great hockey clubs.
You bet they are, yeah.
You got to give everybody in this room a lot of credit. When you can win 11 straight this time of the year, you've got a really good hockey club.
And you know what makes it even more important is the fact that I think those clubs gave you the respect after those series were over, and I think Chicago will do that also.
Well, I think teams tried to play us different ways, and I think it's a sign of a true championship hockey club. When they threw the hitting at us, we were able to adjust and beat them that way. When they tried to beat us end-for-end rushes, we have the talent to beat clubs that way, and I think that's a great trait for our hockey club.
All right, Ronnie, go have some good stuff and relax. Go ahead.
Before I want to say hello to my mom, dad, and brother back home in Pittsburgh. They stayed home to watch my little girl. They couldn't come down, and I love you. Thanks for everything. We'll see you tonight, sometime in the morning.
And we'll get them home. Don't worry about that. We will. All right, thanks, Ronnie.
Thanks, Mike.
Where's Jags? You back up here? All right. All right, Bobby, let's go back to you, and we'll see if we can get your Armour Yager in a few minutes.
Thanks very much. And I'll tell you something, this might become a rite of spring. It looks like it's going to happen, who knows for how many years. And for those fans who missed the announcement earlier, a big celebration is planned for Three River Stadium June the 4th. That's this Thursday, correct? At noon. So you want to be there. Don't go to the airport tonight because the Penguins have a secret route. They won't be at the airport. But I assume the celebrations will continue into the night.
They sure will.
We'll have more coming up in sports.